Hey guys, welcome back. I figure we do a little bit of a update video because the coins I'm about ready to talk about today in this video have no big surprise, like everything else, has been creeping up, and it's only because I've done a little research here today on these coins that it's certainly worth a conversation. And I think I can adequately give you guys a much better visual representation of coins that I have in hand of Black Beauty Jefferson nickels. Okay, it's a topic that has been talked to the ends of the earth on YouTube. There's a number of videos talking about it, but very few videos actually showing what the coins look like in hand. Now, I'm using medium light, all right, so that way you guys can see what these things actually look like under medium light. I didn't quite blast this area, full of light to artificially make the coins a lot darker or lighter. It's important to know what these look like under just natural kind of like light desk lamps that emit, a very low, I guess, what is it, Kelvin? I don't know, what, 3,000 Kelvin is what we're going with here. But I have a number of nickels that we're going to look at. And, you could kind of gauge a comparison of each one of those. But I have all the coins here. Let's go ahead and dive right in. And these are all mint state. The key is with Black Beauty, anything, you want to find these in mint state condition. They're not going to mean nearly as much in much lower grades. So that's going to be incredibly important as you're trying to search through these. So we have a 1963 Jefferson nickel. Now, this is what I would say is what a normal Jefferson nickel looks like. These are of course, nickel and copper composition, primarily nickel, but this is what a standard Jefferson nickel would look like, okay? So that's the first coin right there. The second one right here is going to be just slightly ever so darker than the 63. And you're going to find that there's really not a whole lot of difference, okay? Again, under certain types of lighting, one coin may appear a little bit darker than the other. But we have a 1954 Jefferson right here. It's kind of up for debate if this is truly a Black Beauty, which, by the way, is another is a more generic term for improper annealing or sintered planchets, which just means that these particular planchets during the prep process received too much heat. So with too much heat, they will turn a little bit darker color. So this is a 54. The next coin that we have here is going to be just slightly a little bit more darker than the 54. You can see that right there. And that is 57. And I believe that's a Denver. 57 Denver right there. Let me do this. There. That's a little bit better. So that's what the actual coin looks like with the light not directly on it. So that way you guys can see a little bit about how much lighter and darker one is. So there's the 63. There's the 57D. So you could tell the 57D is comparatively more darker than the 63. Kind of a big change just going through three coins there. All right, so that's the 57D, and then check this one out. This is actually the most common date of Black Beauty that you'll come across. Oftentimes, they're going to be found in BU rolls. Good luck finding them. They're starting to get up there in price. But it is, look at this thing. Man, so much more darker. That is a 59. But see that? This is a mint state 1959 Black Beauty. As you could tell, it has luster, all right? That one has luster. It's like so much more darker than anything else that you will ever see from the series. But the two most common dates for Black Beauties are 58 and 59. 58 is a little bit less common of a date, although you're not going to have a heck of a hard time trying to find one. In raw condition, these are currently being sold online. There's not too many of them. There really isn't. But the last reported examples have sold in that $10 to $20 mark, whereas these used to sell for around $5. But if we take our 1963 and we put them side by side, you guys, this will blow you away. Just the overall contrast and difference from one coin to another. Look at that. 59 has more of a dark gunmetal color. The 63 is a bright, shiny, almost like silvery appearance to it. Considerable difference. And if we were going to take all of the coins and stack them on top of each other, let's see here. You'll even see the difference right on the edge as well, going from one coin to another. So those are kind of like the four progression states of Black Beauties right there. Now I gave you guys a little bit of a rough estimate of what a raw Black Beauty of either 58 or 59 sells for. Now, there have been some graded examples, and they're attributed as Black Beauties. The only company as of right now that is grading Black Beauties and attributing it as such is Annex. Okay, it'll actually say Black Beauty across the top. These things were a little bit slow to come out of the gate in terms of its popularity. Mostly because, some people just saw it as a very minor error or, occurrence on these things. But just in the last 2 years, we've seen the not only the prices rise on these, but also the interest has also gone up a little bit as people begin to kind of like discover a little bit more about what makes a Black Beauty nickel. Plus the overall nickname for the thing is really cool. It's very mystifying. It sounds like folklore, but the graded examples that have sold in the marketplace, and I'm just going to use Great Collections as an example of coins that have sold in the marketplace just in the last, I would say, 3 years. A lot of the average grades have been falling between Mint State 63 and 65 through Annex as Black Beauty nickels. They were available back in 2019 for between $20 and $25 graded. Today, these are going to run you roughly between $100 and $150 graded. More predominantly, the 64s and 65s are going to be the target dates. Now, one thing to consider with the improper annealing or the darkened planchets is that they just don't show up just in these 2 dates of nickels. They also show up in other denominations of coins, and they actually show up on a lot more modern coins as well. In addition to proof coins, we've seen actually some proof nickels with a little bit darker planchet. Those were considered either improper annealing or sintered. But there's also been a few Susan B. Anthony dollars in addition to Eisenhower dollars that have been graded as being improper annealing errors. The coins by themselves have some sort of I guess allure to them, but the market hasn't 100% caught up to these coins. And the big reason why I'm talking about this and kind of updating you guys on the market is that there's a lot of potential here with these coins as we go on through time. There's probably, I'd say, if I had to venture a guess of a number of existing examples that are out there of either the 58 or 59, I would say probably 1,000 or less, which at that given kind of number, maybe a little bit more, I'd like to say that there's probably more, sintered planchets that were struck, maybe a few thousand. But given the mintages of these coins, it's really not a lot. And the fact that they're, raw examples, if you can find them, are still in that $10 to $20 range, represents a real buying opportunity. If anything, to grab a hold of them, grade them through Annex, and we all know how cheap it is to grade through Annex. I 100% trust their grading acumen and their judgment in this particular case. These are going to be coins I would say would represent incredible future potential, and they're just neat to collect. The good news is you don't have like this deep and wide kind of date range of black beauties that you need to find or have to obligate yourself to find. But just a few dates. It's great, and then you could kind of expand a little bit more on that. Let's say you're looking for 58s and 59s, and there are other dates within like a 15-year period, spanning like 1950-ish, going all the way into the 60s, where you could find other black beauties. But let's say the 58 and 59s, you could go out there and try and find and collect, say, a mid-state 63, 64, and 65 of each date, and really put together a pretty nice specimen set, all the while keeping it, value-wise for 3 grades of each coin for under $500, I would say is a pretty wise investment. And it's going to be something that's going to give you a whole lot of star power for your collection. It's not every day that you get to see things like this, with such a fantastic storied nickname as Black Beauty. These are coins that certainly deserve a little bit more respect than they did either today or even a few years ago. But yeah, pretty noticeable difference here from one coin to another. Again, even without the light. Just check this out. Look at the difference in the color right there from one to the other. So much more darker. That gunmetal gray gets me. That thing is really cool. But there you go. That's Black Beauty nickels for you. A little bit of an update video, including some market values. Hopefully you guys got a little takeaway from this. It was a pleasure to talk about. We're going to do more of these as we go on. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. And good luck collecting, guys. And I'll see you on the next coin video. So long.